Okay, so now we're going to start in the inner ear and go down more into what the actual structure is. It's kind of complex. So, whenever I think of the inner ear, believe it or not, what I think of is a big pin, just like this. Okay, so remember you have a cylinder on the outside of this big pin, and then you have a cylinder on the inside of this big pin filled with ink. Okay. And whenever we look at a structure, that's what it actually has. It has a hard, bony outside, just like this clear cylinder. And then it has a softer, membranous inside, and it is filled with fluid. Both are actually filled with fluid, but one's hard and bony, and then the inside one is membranous. You got to remember it's a round structure. So that's my visual aid for that. So let's go back and talk about it. Okay. So I have the hard outside, which is called the bony labyrinth, and then the inside is soft, and it's the membranous labyrinth. Now, the bony, so think between the clear part of the pen and the ink cartridge, that's filled with the liquid called perilymph. Inside the membranous part, think the ink cartridge, which is filled with ink, it actually is filled with a fluid called endolymph. So you've got these structures that are filled on the inside with fluids. They're divided into three cavities. You still have the bony and the membranous and the fluids in all three cavities. They are the cochlea that is used for hearing, okay, and that is this one right here. Well, that looks like the snail tail. The vestibule, remember I said in the last one that that is like right here where you enter the inner ear itself. Think of a vestibule entering a church, and that's actually involved in balance. And then the semicircular canals, which are these loops, and they are semicircular, and those are involved in balance too, but they have the specific parts. So let's go and look at this picture I'm going to go through a couple of PowerPoints and talk about these things right here, okay? So remember the cochlea, this now tail is what we use for hearing. Okay, so let's look at this PowerPoint picture first. Okay, so this is the cochlea right here, okay? This is showing the tubes wrapped up in a circle. Remember, I'm going to roll them out more linearly to actually explain this to you and everything. This is the membranous labyrinth right here. This is the bony on either side of this. Here is the vestibule, and here's the semicircular canals. And you can tell in each one of those, it has the bony outside and then the membranous inside. Remember, around the bony is the endolymph, and inside the middle of that membranous is perilymph. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So if you also go in there and you look at the hearing, okay, so if I roll out that ink pen, this is what I have. Remember, this is the membranous, so think of that as the ink cartridge. This is the crystal cartilage. Remember, it's circular, okay? So if I'm going to go in here, then the stirrup that has been moved by the Malleus and the Incas is going to hit against something called the oval window right here. And it's going to go into a chamber. So if I had the pen straight in front of me, this would be the top part of that crystal, okay? And then you have the membranous labyrinth and the ink cartridge, and then below it you have another crystal layer, okay? So this up here is called the This right here is called the scala vestibulae. Remember, you coming in through the vestibule, scala vestibulae, okay? This bottom one underneath where the crystal is, or whenever the pen, like that's the bottom of the bony labyrinth, that is called the that is called the basilar, scala vestibulae. Okay, this is the scala vestibulae right here, okay? This is the scala tympanae, at the bottom, and it actually exits out. In between there, I have layers, and to understand the layers, we need to go back to this one, okay? So here, I'm going to have the membrane of the scala vestibulae on top of this. This is the tectorial membrane. It's gel-like. Here are the hair cells right here. And these are the same things that send the transmission down the nerves, okay, to where I actually hear. But sound travels still through here. So then I have the basilar membrane right here, and then here I have the scala tympanae. So sound goes from the scala vestibulae to the tectorial membrane, stimulates the hair cells, go out to the basilar membrane, goes out to the scala tympanae, and then it exits out the ear. But we're going to talk more about that later. I just want y'all to know these parts right here. The cochlear duct is actually here. This is the cochlear duct itself with the tectorial membrane and everything. I want you to start wrapping your brain around this. Where we actually hear is the organ of Corti, or where that where the actual the actual cochlear duct is, okay? All right, I'm sure that's clear as mud. Stop this so you can listen to it for a little bit and look at these pictures going back and forth, okay? Thanks, bye. Remember, it's like this. Sorry. Oh.